Hello. So today's talk is probably not even a story, but it is definitely something that I learned from a story. This entire storytelling saga spawned off of a story that I heard from a friend, and it was a story about time, or how we probably don't value time enough and should value time more, by the Buddha. I will link that story in the description of this video. But the short of it is, time is the only non-redeemable entity that we have, and we probably don't really value it because we think it's free, whereas the truth is that it is priceless. It is something that you can never get back once you've gone past and spent it. And on similar lines, I was talking to some folks yesterday, and we were talking about how we utilize our time in general. There are many different ways in which we can spend the time we have. We can do stuff that is for what we often refer to as passing time, or we could use it for much larger purposes. And I thought of a very beautiful analogy for this. For those of you who've flown in an airplane one time or another, you will know that planes have a particular cruising altitude, as it is called, and there's a reason that it is so. A plane is a machine that is meant to go very fast and very far. Basically, it's one of the most optimal uses of the time in terms of achieving an objective of getting from point A to point B. However, regardless of how beautiful this machine is, it only works well if it is done right. If a plane, a beautiful, large, very modern plane, is made to fly very close to the ground at a low altitude, it will probably fly the slowest due to the resistance of air. It will consume the most amount of fuel, and obviously it will go the least or the shortest distance possible with that amount of fuel and time even. However, as the plane rises a little, it starts getting better at with its efficiency. So the higher it goes, the better it gets, until it reaches its cruising altitude, as it is called. Now, our lives are pretty much synonymous with how this plane functions, in that the higher we go with our purpose, the higher we go with the things that we do with our time, the farther we're gonna get with ourselves. Anything that you do which isn't really worthwhile is going to burn the fuel of your life, the time, and it's not gonna get you very far. However, the better your purpose, the more you do to make an impact somewhere, one way or another, the higher you are with your objectives and the purpose that you set for yourself, and the farther it's gonna go. So I thought that's a very beautiful analogy, and if we just think about it a little and apply it in our lives, we could probably just fly a little higher ourselves, don't you think? That was that. Like I said, this was more of a thought than a story in itself, but thank you for listening in, and I appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a good one, folks.